What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be talking about something in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM that I actually think is really, really cool. That I think is pretty good. And I kind of like the way 2K are doing this, and I really want to stress that, like, you do not have to buy anything. You do not have to buy packs. You do not have to spend money on the game. But I like the way 2K are going with this. And I'm going to explain my reasoning why. You don't have to like my reasoning. You don't have to like what 2K are doing. And that's completely fine. You do not, and I stress, you do not need to like this. But I do. And I'm going to explain why. My job is to talk about the game. And give my opinions on it, whether you guys like them or not. So, what we are going to be talking about today are super packs. So this Signature Series super pack, for me, epitomizes what 2K should be doing. I don't know exactly, maybe it's an experiment, but I loved the limited edition concept. I hope that it got them to sell more packs because I really like that concept. Because my biggest problem with any of these card collecting modes, my biggest problem is not the fact that you believe they're paid. People believe they're paid to win. And to an extent it is, to an extent it isn't. Like, again, it's paid to have a slight advantage. Like, I'm just putting it this way. If you're playing this game for money, yeah, having a 50 Hall of Fame badge Kawhi is going to give you a slight advantage over Cam Reddish. It is. Like, Ty's 50 Hoff badge team. If Ty played against himself with his 50 Hoff badge team, and he played against Luka, Cam, RJ Barrett, I don't know. Do I have anyone that's good at power forward? Even Tatum a power forward. And then center like David Robinson. Like, Ty with his 50 Hot Badge team might win by like 8 points. Like, that's kind of the thing. It's paid to have a slight advantage. It's not paid to win. It is definitely paid to have a slight advantage. But I'm perfectly cool with 2K straight up putting cards up for grabs. And finally today, they gave us 3 really good cards. If you want a David Robinson, you can have a David Robinson. If you want a really good Kevin Durant card, you can have a Kevin Durant. I'm guessing Kevin Durant's going to get a Dark Matter soon, but I don't know how much better, outside of his release being on quick, I don't know how much better that Kevin Durant Dark Matter is going to be in this Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson's Dark Matter is as good as Klay. Is barely better than Opal Klay. You want a 2-guard that literally ran in 250 for guys. Use Opal Klay. These packs aren't cheap. They're not. They're $25 each. Or they are $20 roughly if you are buying a 450. They're $21 or $20. And you might say that's a ludicrous amount to get these cards. And I do agree. I don't believe you should have to pay. And I don't spend money on this game. And this is coming from someone who doesn't spend money on this game. But I would much rather have just go right here and be like, I want Kevin Durant, buy Kevin Durant. And whatever I get in the packs, I don't care. I would much rather say, I just want to buy KD. I just want to buy David. Oh, I need a center. Let me buy David Robinson. Oh, I need a 2-guard. Let me go and buy Klay Thompson. With money. Because again, I will say this. Purchasing MTs against TOS, you will eventually be banned. The amount of times people are like, oh, I've bought X amount and not being banned. Like, you will eventually. You will eventually. Do it at your own risk. I don't care whether you do it or not. Do it at your own risk. It's against terms of service. I don't do it. Because again, I just don't want to, because if anyone's going to get banned for it, it's me. It's against terms of service. But at least the one thing I always used to say when it came to that was, you know what, it's against terms of service, but at least it's not gambling. At least you can go and buy who you want. But now it seems like 2K are actually letting it for a lot of good cards. Obviously, they're not letting you buy every card, but for a lot of good cards, you can buy who you want. What's likely going to happen is that we can see Kevin Durant, David Robinson, and Klay Thompson. David Robinson was one of the best cards from this season. Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson obviously came at the start of last season. I think we could see a day next season where Luka Doncic, Power Within, suddenly is one of these cards. And you're like, okay, yeah, when he's one of the best point guards in the game, you can buy him. Later on in the year, obviously the power creep is a thing. But if we were getting cards from like the previous seasons, we're suddenly looking in a month's time at super packs with a potential purchase of like, I don't know, you can buy Luka. Or maybe it's Power Within. and you can buy Luka, Kareem, or somebody else. Like, that's not far-fetched. It's probably going to happen. Heck, they gave them all out as locker codes last week. Like, I really like this concept. Again, my biggest problem with my team is the fact that it pushes gambling. I feel a lot of this game, the more I kind of sit back and look at it, like, I felt at the start of the year very much the fact that everything was based on RNG, that it was all kind of to push people towards being open to like taking risks, being open to like opening packs, but like that was absolute just nonsense. That I just overthought it. In reality, the RNG's in the game because there's not really that much to do online, and unlike FIFA where there's like a consistent rivals and weekend league and you get rewards week on week depending on your wins, and unlike FIFA where it's like that, there is a set start and end point to pretty much everything in my team, so they need RNG to keep people in the game. Like, I just get that. But for something like this, you're getting your cards, you're not having to gamble. And 2K, again, I hope 2K do this for every super pack. I hope 2K do this for every single super pack, and I hope 2K continue like this. There is nothing more that I hope. Like, people are like, oh, you just don't want to see 2K make money, you hate 2K. It's like, I really don't. Again, I can't necessarily too much hate a company who make the game that I've made a very good living out of. But one thing that I haven't liked, again, is it's the way everything is. Like, I just don't like gambling being promoted under young people. But I don't necessarily mind. Again, I don't mind if anyone. I always say, if you're under 18, don't buy packs, and I don't care if you get. I always say, if you get money and you spend that money, if you're 10 years old, you get money for Christmas or your birthday, you spend that money gambling, not even strong advise you. I'd just say don't do it. If you're a parent, don't let your kids gamble on packs. But if you're just playing the game and you really enjoy it, and you just want these cards specifically, and you can get a little bit of money, then fire ahead. Fire ahead, because you actually know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. And I said it when they first did it, and I'm going to say it again now. Like, these super packs are good. And I said it yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, super packs aren't a bad thing. You don't have to open them if you don't want to. Even if you don't like the cards, you can just don't really have to care. But like, for these cards right here, they're 3 really nice cards. And I hope 2K continues with this. I really do. Do I have much confidence that they will? It all depends on how it is behind the scenes. But I like it. And in terms of like a morality, not even morality standpoint, in terms of like a PR standpoint, when it's all said and done, if 2K can make almost a habit of doing this, when, not ifs, loot boxes and packs get banned. It's a when. It might happen 5 years later in America than in the rest of the world, but it's a when, not if. 2K are also putting themselves into some sort of position to keep their MyTEAM game mode alive, whereas something like FIFA Ultimate Team will just die when that happens. So yeah, pretty much it. My thoughts on these packs right here. I'll probably have to make this exact same video again, because again, people are still complaining about these, and I just don't understand why. If you don't like them, ignore them. If you're like myself, who actually really does like the fact you can specifically buy cards now, essentially specifically buy cards, then you can be happy. I don't understand why anyone is annoyed in these scenarios. And this is coming from the #1 2K complaint. I'm not, let's be real, I'm not even in the top 10 people for complaining about 2K on the internet. I'm not even in the top 10. I just have the largest following, so people put me as #1. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.